Today we are kicking off our part 1 of our next preschool unit, which is all about spring. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Carnahan fam. My name is Kaylee Carnahan. I'm a preschool and kindergarten teacher of 10 years, and teaching is just my passion. Throughout the last year on our channel, we've been doing a preschool series with thematic units and play-based preschool programs to help your preschooler learn and grow. So in today's video, we're going to share the supplies and the setup that we are doing for this unit, as well as our favorite books. Some of them have a lot of great real graphics. Some of them are a little bit more artsy and are really fun in their narrative. And then of course we have to have one fictional story, which is just honestly absolutely hilarious, and I can't wait to share that book with you. We'll talk about those books today. We'll talk about the supplies that we're going to use in this unit, really specifically for our spring unit, and then get it all set up together. But before anything else, let's get started with that supplies. As far as supplies is concerned, I know it looks like a lot, but it really isn't a whole lot of different stuff. We've definitely got some soil for our sensory bin that we'll be using, and then this here is grass seed, and I honestly only need a little tiny bit for some of our activities, but this was the smallest bag I can find. And then we have a bunch of fake flowers to be using for some of our activities, as well as just for some imaginative play. And Christian helped me pick all of these out at the dollar store. And then back here we have a bunch of different kind of pots. I'm honestly not quite sure what we're gonna do with all the pots, but I wanted some options for our activities. We'll probably use these smaller ceramic ones for more of our activities, and then these big ones for more play. We have these styrofoam blocks that we'll end up putting in, and then for play we'll just be sticking the flowers into the flower pots. But otherwise they will love just sticking them in the pots and making their own little bouquets as well. These Jiffy pots we will end up using in the sensory bin. Then you might have seen some of our coffee filter art activities before, but we do have some art activities that we're going to be making with our coffee filters. Some activities with these green paper straws, and I went for green so they could be like stems like a flower. A couple different kinds of seeds, and we got these for a sorting activity. And then of course we had to get these cute little child size gardening gloves. We got these from Target for $5. They're the smallest ones I've been able to find so far, and they only had one pair left. Otherwise I would have gotten 2 for our 2 kids. And then of course outside in their stuff right now, we already have a little child size shovel and rake that we will add to this. It's like flowers, flower holders, and a couple extra little doody-dads. All right, we've got it all out. Let's just go ahead and get it set up right now. To put together this sensory table is going to be super simple. We're gonna fill the sensory table with some potting soil, and then we went ahead and put 12 Jiffy pots into our sensory table, 6 on each side, put a flower in each of the pots, then we added some gardening tools and the gardening gloves. So simple, so easy. Okay, I'm not going to lie, I'm actually loving the way that this sensory table turned out already. So let's get a good look now while it still looks nice. Because you know once the toddlers get into it, it is not going to look this nice anymore. We will also add a watering can with a little bit of water in there, or maybe even just some spray water bottles, so that the kids can practice watering the flowers as well. And on a side note, I do always try to keep the sensory table in our preschool room so that the kids can go to it and play in it whenever they like. This one might have to be an outside only. I mean, I'm not against vacuuming up the corn kernels and the rice and the beans, but dirt and mud in the carpet, this might be an outside one. It's a good thing it's springtime. Alright, we've got all of our cutesy little flower pots made up by cutting the stems apart individually and putting them into these flower pots using some floral foam on the inside. It's a great fine motor activity already, encouraging your kiddo to use those muscles in their fingers to push each of the stems into the floral foam, and it helps them stay better. Now we're gonna get them set on the shelf for a little bit of a display so that it's welcoming and inviting as we introduce spring. All right, on to our books. I'm just gonna give you a little bit of information about each of our nonfiction books, and then I really want to tell you about the fiction one here at the very end. So first, Plants Can't Sit Still talks about so many real things that plants do. And I love the pictures because they are all watercolor and just really nicely illustrated. Mia Posada did a great job illustrating this story. Some plants sleep at night, leaves nodding, flowers folding. Others wake with the stars and lift their faces to the moon. It really introduces your preschooler to the concept that plants can do more than just sit there and grow, and they definitely don't sit still. Then this book is really sweet just about spring. I love this book so much because it talks about so many of the different components of spring. Before spring comes, the trees look like black sticks against the sky. But if you wait, spring will bring leaves and blossoms. It talks about turning eggs to birds and seeds to flowers, and spring can come quickly or slowly, and it changes its mind a lot. I just love how many aspects that it covers of spring when spring comes. We've got one more with some drawn graphics, and it's called Growing Vegetable Soup. And what I love about this book is it really talks about how to go from farm to table. It shows you the tools that you will use in the garden. It's very simple. We are planting the seeds. It labels all of the different parts of the pictures, from the seeds in the ground to the gardening glove and the seed package right here. The text is very large. You watch the plants grow, and eventually you end up digging them up and cook them into vegetable soup. These two are from a set called Discovering My World, and I love them for informational text because they are so simple. This one's Animals in the Garden, and it talks about how animals actually can help in a garden. Who helps in a garden? Birds help. Birds eat insects that harm plants. Spiders help. Their webs catch insects that harm plants. And I just love that the text is so simple and the concepts are so simple. Then the next Discovering My World book is called Butterflies, and it's all just informational about butterflies. Butterflies are bugs that fly. Butterflies smell flowers with their feelers, and they taste flowers with their feet. Christian thought that that was hilarious. You learn so much about the different parts of a butterfly and just so many facts that we did not know. And finally, Are You a Ladybug? It's definitely a higher level than the simplicity of the Discovering My World books, but it is still a fun read. Are you a ladybug? If you are, your parents look like this. When your mother lays her eggs, you are inside one of them. And it goes on to talk about the development of a ladybug. Oh, it talks about the way that they change color, the way they get their spots, and how they fly. All of these books are really wonderful choices and really appropriate for the preschool level, especially when you're picking out nonfiction for your preschooler. You want to keep the concepts simple. Now, you've been patiently waiting for the very impatient caterpillar. Is it time yet? Why, yes, caterpillar, it is time. This book is a silly conversation that all takes place in some word bubbles between one very impatient caterpillar and other caterpillars who aren't as impatient. And he spends the rest of the book trying to become a butterfly, but oh so impatiently. Spoiler alert, at the end, he definitely still makes it to becoming a butterfly. And in fact, he says he feels transformed. Starting now, he is going to be way more patient, or at least he'll try. That about covers our supplies, setup, and favorite books related to spring. You're not gonna wanna miss our curriculum release where we're gonna give away 10 copies of our spring themed curriculum. We do so many fun play-based activities to keep your preschooler learning with literacy, math, fine motor, social skills, all of the things. And in the meantime, while you're waiting, if you want a unit to get started on, head over to our website at www.thecarnahanfam.com, and I will put that in the description below, and you can check out all of our previous units that are already up there. Other than that, that's about all for the day. We'll see you again next time. Bye. school.